Woman Solution. And I am going live on YouTube. So I am Medicine Woman Solution. I am Brenda Jean Power. So we're going to be talking to you guys tonight of whatever it is that you want to talk about, because the soul says, what about me, soul? What would your soul, why would your soul say, what about me? It's not. It is you, your ego self, that says, what about me? But what does that even mean? You've said it many times. Who'd you say it to? Who'd you say it to? Hey, Heather, how you doing? Hello, Katie, how you doing? What about me? Think about it. What about me? As you think about this, how often or what situation would make you feel that you would have to say, well, what about me? And how many times have you been left out of an equation? How many times have you, is it you part of your program? Is it part of your go-to? What is going on with this? Why is that important? Can you tell me why? Why is it important? Why do you need to know this? Why do you need to know this? When you understand that you need to know this because it's about a feeling state, you'll move into a state of feeling. What do you mean? Isn't that just a riddle? Isn't that obvious? Well, when you are having an experience, you're like, what about me? You feel the thoughts, you feel the emotions. And when you feel the thought and emotions, it bursts, the little two, hanky-panky, and they birth this feeling. And it's a sensation, it's a feeling. What about me? And that's how you know your experiences. So this is oftentimes I'll say to you, how do you know you know? And we look at it. We look at how you know, like the body is trying to tell you something. So it's how you know. So hopefully if we get a few more people in the room. And when you think about, and thank you for sharing. Thank you for caring about yourself and the planet. It's all good. Hi, Lucci. How you doing? Hi, Amy. Hi, Judy. So how do you know? Well, let's see. How do I know? What about me? Well, I've said it when I feel excluded. When I'm having a conversation and they kind of disregard me. And, I always put people first. And then all of a sudden it's like they can't do that in me. So I'm expecting that out of them. And that needs to be healed. As well as, how do you know? Oh, thank you so much for Oceans. If you're looking for a reading, we can give you a reading. So give me a few minutes to talk about spirit. And then we will go into how your soul wants you to know what you need to heal. But what about me? When you're little, you will really feel the exclusion. You'll really feel this rejection. And it's the first 7 years that are really deeply programmed into you about how you're supposed to respond, how to behave, what you're supposed to do. But you also have experiences of thoughts and emotions that are birthed. What does thoughts and emotion birth? Feelings and sensations. Again, it's super, super important. You feel this. Understand how you know. Oh, God. What about me? I don't understand why they didn't include me in the family picture. What about me? I used to carry that with me because I carried this in my heart. As I shared earlier, hopefully my volumes and everything is okay. As I was sharing earlier, and I right on live, I had an epiphany. I've been doing my best to figure out for such a long time about the feeling state that, I thought my family was there for me. But then as I was telling the story, I realized that in the beginning, when I needed them, they had rejected me. It wasn't until I was in a crisis and they thought they're going to get their asses in trouble that they include me. And God, why would my family reject me? That seems ridiculous. I'm 54 years old trying to think back. My family loves me. Why was I think? We sugarcoat it because we delete, distort, and generalize. We take that first part of our lives and we don't quite remember it. Around age 2 is when we start to form memories and to store them. But in the meantime, our subconscious mind is downloading everything and all things so you know how to operate in your environment and learning your surroundings. But it's that sensation. And for years, it's like, what is going on? Why does my heart feel like this doing this? What is going on? I love people. This is ridiculous. But I will make people show up, and my soul will make people show up to show me that, yeah, we don't love you. But they don't say that. How it shows up to me is that they reject my decision. They reject me for me. And it hit me. It hit me that when I fell out of the car, nobody really gave a rat's ass. Well, get up, get up. Nobody, I mean, I flew out of the car because I looked all right. Who gives a rat's ass? And I remember I'm sitting there in the grass, the dirt, and I can smell the dirt. It's that track where the horse used to be. So you got certain distinct smells. And they're over there talking around the car. And finally, they picked me up, brought me, put me down, sits me down on the hot top of the car. And it was very, very hot. Very, very hot. And I remember complaining because my butt was burning. I couldn't put my hands down because the hood was hot, or the bonnet, however you call it. And then they thought I was complaining. Then they made my sister, which is no bigger than me, and you got other siblings that are taller and older, and they carried me, or she carried me, but nobody really asked how I was. Nobody, and I was like, okay. And it's okay not to make a big deal, but nobody really seemed to care. So I felt this great rejection. And I remember afterwards, so that's what hit me was when, as I'm telling the story, the only reason they gave me attention when I thought they were always there for me is because they're going to get their ass in trouble with mom. They weren't supposed to take that car out and do the racetrack thing. That was a no-no. The boys just got their, well, I don't even think neither one of them had their license yet. So they have to cover their tracks. And then they were mad because I was screaming and because they're pushing on my cut so I wouldn't bleed to death. And, you know, it hurt. And then after I got the stitches and brought home, I couldn't walk on it because it was a scar this big and my bones didn't break. But I remember I would ask for help and they were like, ah. So reactions from people, the gestures from people, as soon as I get a twinge of feeling that they're like, oh, they're so disgusted. Do I really have to? I just sat down. So when I hear anybody acting that way energetically, I have a stress problem. And I grew up with that. So my body's addicted to stress. And let me tell you, it does affect your world. So why am I telling you this? Again, you have problems physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. There's problems. Do you have a physical issue? Ooh, a lock and key. Me, likey. That was pretty. So your name gets to go to drawing. Wow. Is it just something going on in the world all over? I mean, I know people are having money troubles, and this is not about money. Don't usually have this bad of a reaction on Facebook, but I am tonight. Good morning, honey. How are you? Yeah, your throat. See, what's interesting is like your physical thing for you, my dear, is that you have this chemical peptide that just keeps dripping like a faucet and the body keeps reacting. And it's how we made a choice and we're in conflict. So as you move forward as your beautiful self to create a life that you want, you are in conflict because the program of what you have is in conflict about where you're going. So you have to see the contrast. We can't just blame it on people. We have to see this. So your body literally is like, wait, what? And it's amazing. It's totally amazing. Thank you so much, Amy, for the stars. We are put that name in the drawing. And so talk to me. If there's anybody new here that has never had a reading, talk to me now. I will help you. I'll help you understand and see different angles. And even if you want your 1 minute, now I'm going to open up my board. See what's going on. Oops, there we go. And let me get over into this other one. Very good. So there's so much to learn here. You can learn about whispering opportunities. Something strikes you and it hurts. And when you start to mature, there's a part of you begins to become aware that your program is going off and it's not really about anything else. Which way you want me, Zoom or live? That's up to you, honey. Because if you feel that you want to be encapsulated forever, then choose Zoom and maybe beneficial to all. Or you can go on to your live so then you can create more people. It's up to you how you want to do it. Either way, it's up to you. I've got this sticky tack. You ever had blue tack? And I got it. I had a little bit on my book, and so I scraped it off. And now I can't. It's addicted. It's like, put it down. People don't think you're rolling a booger or something. It's not. It's just, I can't get it off my hands. Ugh. But, it's like, what? You got to keep feeling. Hey, Angela, how you doing? So, Amy wants to pay for a reading to come on, so that's cool. If there's anybody new, I see Xavier, Kit Xavier, something like that. Look, if you're looking for a reading, let me know. Mama Betty, who's that? Ocean, are you still here? So, having the ability to understand your life a little bit more. Oh, my mama. Yes, this hat is a gift from my dead mother that died in 1992. And she learned how to give things. And so what happens is that your spirits, the spirits of your loved ones, they have an ability. Now, this has happened to me twice, actually 3 times. They have an ability. What is the one ability that they can do? And hello, Kendall. Again, I like to give readings. So if you'd like one, let me know. If you're new, especially, let me know. So this is what happened. The loved ones on the other side will, if they want to learn how to give gifts, they will find somebody that don't care if they have a gift or not. Or like this person owned this hat. A person owned this hat. Now, my mother ended up communicating with them in the way that they had no clue. So my mother came to me and says, "Oh, I got something for you." And I'm like, what is this? And all I could hear was 50s. Now in the 50s, she'd had a poodle skirt and an Angora sweater. Now she would tell me about how much she loved her Angora sweater. So she comes to me. Now, remember, she's dead in 1992. And here I am on my bed. And in 2000, I don't know, 15, 16. And I'm sitting there. And my friend just left my house maybe a couple hours earlier. And I thought, oh, crap, she left her hat. But then she told me just to keep it. Now, I put the hat aside because, it's hot. I don't need to wear it, right? Just hearing, look at the tag, look at the tag. Look at the tag? What the heck are you talking about? And all of a sudden, I felt like she had placed a hat on my head. I says, Mom, what? So I ran out. They used my files, showed me the picture of the hat. Grabbed the hat, looked inside, and it says 50% Angora. I started to bawl because I could feel my mother and me had created the bridge of communication. That to me is just, the person that came to my house had no idea they were helping to deliver. Okay? They had no idea whatsoever. And it's like, wow. So the other one is this gray sweater that's in this corner here, is that my sister just died. Her name's Benita. And every time my mother and my sister is hanging out with each other. And there was a beautiful song that came on. It was my birthday. I think it was just the day before. And I could feel them around me. And I'm like, aw. And that was it. Nothing big deal. Me and my husband, he's driving. And all of a sudden, that song started to well up my heart. And it was like, happy birthday. And it was a song, and the name was Betty Who, or the singer was Betty Who. And I can't remember what the song was about, love. And I just started bawling because she had blue eyes. My mother was, she's been doing her best to talk to me. And I was like, wow. So then that's when my sister got introduced because I could feel she was present. Me and my husband went hiking, and middle of nowhere. And I'm talking about if you fall to the left, you'll fall down, die. And so we went hiking on the skinny trail and rocks and me and my feet. Oh, but I did it. And we got to the falls, and it was Mackenzie Falls, and it was beautiful. A ton of people there. Starting to get dark. We know we have a long walk back to the car. Now, we could have taken 2 other routes, but they would have been longer. So we decided to start hiking back, and everybody's starting to leave. And I noticed this gray sweater, and I thought, oh, this is my mother's doing. Because I wasn't thinking, but that part of me is like, well, there might be an office I can turn it in at. Middle of nowhere, they don't have that stuff. So I picked it up, put it in my bag. I said, anybody lose a sweater? But nobody. Hiked back, lost it halfway in between. That must not have been my husband goes, no, I have to go get it. I don't know why I have to get it. I was, oh, go for it then, So he goes hiking, he goes back, he gets it, he comes back, and he has this astonished look on his face. He's like, did you read the name in the name tag? And I said, no. He says, and he turns it around, and it says Bonita. I'm like, oh my God. And it was a gift, like my mother had given me the hat. She had given me a sweater. And then after that, all I could see was Bonita. Bonita hair salon, Bonita clothes, Bonita this, Bonita that. I said, okay, Bonita, I have enough, the fact that you're here. And then when my stuff got shipped over, I got no pictures of my childhood. I got nothing. The asshole kept them. But what came through was a picture of my sister Bonita and my brother Michael. And a picture of my mom. And I'm like, what? It was just like, I don't know. To me, it was gorgeous because they can talk to you. They can give you things. They can help you. Just so you know. You liked it? It's so real. And I love every moment of I have. One year for my birthday was rainbows. And I'm like, where is the charm? Because just rainbows. I says, hey, Ma. I says, where's my gift, Mom? Is it like when I was 13 and you didn't have the money to do it? I was teasing her. And all of a sudden, these rainbows come out of nowhere. And they were just, you could tell that they were refracting from one of the crystals I had somewhere. I just couldn't find the damn crystal. And they were just everywhere. And so I just started taking pictures of the rainbow all over the place. So, you can have a lot, but you have to move past your fear. You have to move past your heartache. You have to move past. Because those that, my husband's not a proficient talking to the undead or non-fleshies. However you want to call them. But let me tell you, he has connected with several of them. Okay, he is connected with several of them. And, he thinks, yes, when you listen, you can connect too. It's moving the pain aside. Okay. So I think this is going to be a short show. I'm not sure, but let's just take it off and I'll look towards the room. If anybody said yes, please. I see that hopefully Lucci's here. Angela will be next. And ready? So I'm going to do something just a little different because 1 minute goes by so fast. Lucci, do you have a specific question? Because I see Angela says, does GJ want to tell me anything? Now, she must have witnessed something in order for that. So, Lucci, is there anything that you would like me to direct with a question that you may have so that we can, answer it more specifically? You don't need to see my abilities of going, what is this soul thinking? But what if you got questions? What about me? So in this case, what about you? Talk about it. What about you? Hi, Teresa. So what is your question if you happen to have one? And then we will talk and we will take care of it. And so you'll have longer than a minute to some degree if the question is something other than. So like for Angela Stokes, does GJ want to tell me something? Did you get an appearance? Do you have that feeling? Talk to me of how you know that. Supporting my financially. Okay, so we're talking about money. And so my question for you is, do you feel like you have the lack of finances? So I'll wait for Lucci to answer that and Angela to answer that, and we'll see what happens. And the reason why we're asking these questions because we want you to fine tune so that you can get your resolved answer, not just something I would say, but something that where you can go and get the clue of how to start answering and getting more of that. Oh yeah, it's more answers. Lack of choices with money, feeling tight. So I'm looking at Lucha and I said, is it true that you're feeling tight? Yes. Now understand that when you're taking a thought and emotions and they, in bed, the thoughts and emotions create a feeling in a baby. And what they create is tight. I feel like it's tight. So we have the ability to explain how we've had this experience in words that I feel like it's tight. Okay. She says, not only that, it feels like I have no freedom. Now, this is part of the 6 S's. One of them is freedom. So safety, security, stability, but she doesn't feel like she has the freedom, the space to be able to do what she needs to do. And she would like to have more funds. So she's looked at her funds based on an old experience and go, I'd like to be able to, and we do know the difference of when we have a windfall or we have money. Yes, I can just spend it freely. But at the same time, you can't. So now as I look, I'll say there's a feeling nature of how you know it's tight. I'm going to say R2D. I'm going to say there's a feeling is I just don't have the freedom to do that. L2D. Why? Because those 2 points have everything to do with your blueprint and your program. So I said, how did you know when the money felt like tight? Well, I picked that up about 1 month old. So my family, so she has in her environment downloaded that money is tight. So she's going to have to play that out later. Okay. And then the other one has to do what I say, freedom. So the freedom, I can't do it. So now I keep hearing, so she would only hear, we just don't have the freedom to do that. So, or we can't do that because we have no money, but the restrictions, the feeling, again, a very strong sensation in the body. And it is a blueprint. And that blueprint was also probably 2 years is when that one came in, but they're both a sensation that came in. Now, I feel like you have one more, and that is you got the person, the people, the blueprint that you're getting downloaded from, is they would obsess about what they don't have. And they obsessed about worry. They obsessed. Now, I feel that's part of this obsession, but it's located not in the stomach as much as it is in the large intestine, because it was how obsessed, I got to keep them around the household. I got to keep things around. I got to keep. Yes, no funds when she was young. And it is within that you can use now another whispering opportunity, Lucci. Write down, what did you hear? What beliefs, what specific comments did you hear that state we don't have enough? Like I had to train myself to become aware as, we'll just have to forget about it. We just don't have any money. Well, I kept telling the universe that we don't have any money and we just have to forget about it. And those were not really mine. These are the downloads that you get when and you have to break those. You have to break those. Yes, both mother and father obsessed with no money. Okay, now see, that's part of the program. So she's looking at a program. And this, now, if you look and you say, okay, if you were going to write the story of your life, you're of course, the main character, and then you have enemies, and then there's a conflict in what's going on. So part of her story is that they don't have any money. And so she has to tell a sob story, or she has to be the hero. This is what you do. You go back and forth in the storyline characters of not having, and the triumph. Watch Saving Mr. Banks. That's actually a good movie. I can tell you that, you can turn things around. So she knows the feeling of obsession because it was in her space. So she feels the obsession, but somehow it's in the large intestine. Keep them around. So they didn't want to let something go, or they couldn't expand on something. So there's a strange feeling there. So get cracking on those and understand R1S is when it's to do with the large intestine. Now let's go over to, oh, wonderful. You're happy to listen. That's wonderful. But okay, so we'll look over, and I'm looking at Angela. It says my digital frame was acting up. It was flashing. I'd never done that before. So now I'm going to ask Spirit, and they want me to tell you this. Okay. How do we know when we're talking to the dead? How do we know that it's just not something that's happening? And you have to start developing, and this is what I teach my students, you have to start developing with right intuition. Now, I don't like to say right or wrong, but in this case, your ego can make you have an intuition and think that this is what's happening. And then you have your spiritual intuition, and that's where all of your burners are firing. So if you're going, oh my God, that must be, okay, get ego out of the way. Your brain is filling in the next best guess. Your brain only hallucinates, and it only takes a little bit of information. And then if it's mixed with love or fear, and so like I've been walking down the road and all of a sudden, snake, snake. No, it's just a stupid rope. So our brain will go to the fear aspect, or it'll go into the things that we're grasping onto to help us. So I feel like you really want to connect with him. And I feel like, and you have to learn to build this bridge. So yes, you are getting a lot of the emotions and the fear and all of this aside, but you're conditioned to some degree that, what? Wounded pride? What's that about? Awkward. Okay, so when you have these things, hey, I think that's DJ. Hey, I think it's this. I think it's that. And you talk to certain people, they're going to tell you, now, have you ever heard anybody say that you're stupid, or that, that can't be him, or that's nuts, or any of that? Because then you're second guessing yourself. So that's part of another feeling. So you come to me and you ask me the question, is that DJ because of this? And I said, okay, so she's looking at something. And I said, is that DJ? And they said, no, you're conditioned to have to when you see something out of the ordinary, there's a part of you that because you want to connect so bad that you are taking conclusions and assumptions and running in there with with that fear part of you, because you're trying to give yourself assuredness that he's here, that he's not dead. The false self-assuredness is that you'll grasp onto anything. And I said, well, what do you want her to do? And they go, well, she doesn't feel stable. She doesn't feel that, because losing a child is a hell. And thank God, Spirit, that I've only had to witness the expressions instead of having an experience. But in this case, your heart is upset and everything is. I want you to hold R3S, because when you have a hard day with apparently the person you take care of, I know nothing much about your situation except for a few things. Part of it is that I need to chill out, and I could use my son to help me, because for some reason, I feel like you have a lot of people around you that just don't understand you, if that makes sense. They just don't understand you. And therefore, your environment is not very healthy for you. And so you have to be self-assured so that you can keep enduring the shit storm home. I don't mean to be rude, but I have a feeling that part of what you do or where you live is not a healthy one. And so you want to check out, hey, son, are you there? Because that can be a most beautiful experience. So, there's a part of your intuition that goes, what if it's him? What is him? Because and then I said, did you make it flash? He said, no, I wish I would. But at the same time, when she started thinking of you and asking if it was you, were you there? Yeah, I came then. I gave her some support and love. And he says, I'm not going to waste it. Hey, if she wants to think that's me, yeah, okay, good. Yeah, Ma, that was me. But at the same time, he's there. He's there. He can see that you're having a hard time. He says that the vulnerability, it's like you're constantly this wound that's there. He says, Ma, anytime, anytime, just grab a card. Grab a card. Anytime. Now he's showing me, do you have like a stuffed animal or something? I'm not sure what it is. It's small, but it looks like it's got like a stuffed animal type feeling. And he said, you can always just pick that up and let it hug you back. You understand? He says, I'm putting my love into this stuffed animal right now. Now, is there one that's gray in color? Talk to me. Go look. Because I'll tell you which one it is if you have one. If not, we'll find you something he can look at. Yes, I do readings for free. Yep. So you need to let me know. If you, I don't think I've ever read you before, so I'll jump over to that. And because that you're new, now I have to check. Amy, did you bring this person to me, or is this they came on their own? Because it depends. You don't. Okay, so Spirit, what I want you to do is help her find an animal. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to be drawn to this. Now, I keep feeling it's a gray. I don't understand what, but it'll make your heart sing when you find it. So you're going to go out and you're going to Spirit will bring it to you. And what will that do? It'll be you and the way he wants to communicate. So he's preparing for you. And so when you'll find it, you'll know it. Okay, 2 minutes. She gets 2 minutes. Okay. So, ready? Are you still here? They go out so fast. Nita, if you're still here we go, darling. Oh, wait, before I go any further, understand, love. This is question night, which means instead of me just giving you a read, what about me? What kind of question? Do you have a specific question? If not, I can do a cold read and we can just go from there. Thank you very much, Angela. Again, I feel like you're going to go find this animal. I don't know what it is, if it's crocheted or if it's a fuzzy, but I feel it could be an elephant. It could be a koala. It could be something you'll know. Now, whether you buy it or find it, you'll know because I feel like it's gravitating to you big time. So when you open yourself to love, you will learn that it's not about anything other than love. And so taking your emotions or your belief system and shoving them down people's throats is your opinion. Love, that's okay, good. So let me clear this up. You get 2 minutes. Now, when we look at this, there's a part of her that has love. Now, the question is, do you have a love in your life? What's happening? All I can hear is that every day there's something you play out. And you play out this particular habit that I'm looking at a block that has something to do with not feeling that you quite can connect. I feel like there might be some invading energies of conditions with people. So you can feel like their fear and restriction. So that makes sense about the woman that was just above, it's gone now, where she's telling me that I'm supposed to learn about the Bible because I'm a big scammer. So when people bring their emotions and their beliefs forward, I feel that you're like, now they're showing me a particular thing as well. When people start to bring that particular energy, they carry this energy that they're right and no one else is right but them. Does this make sense? So I feel like you get these people, you're like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? Now, energetically, it's out here, but I feel this energy going here. I'm like, what is this? And they're saying, I have this, I just decomp, I decomp. So that means you kind of start losing power. You moved yourself in a situation where it's, well, now I got to play it out. I don't know how to make it end. I don't know how to change this. And again, I feel like a great amount of loss of power. So you feel like you have to do this with this person or you have to do it with that person. And then you're like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. This is where I look at an old program around 3 years old that what resonates with you is when people talk about unworthy. Okay. So when you go and you present yourself with love, you're used to people that have conditions, because that's what I can see when you're younger. And I see you step into a situation where you love equaled unworthy when you were younger. So you kind of brought that to the table until it's ready to heal out. Does this make any sense to you? Because if that's the case, then, oh, wow. I feel like the certain people just say they have to guilt trip you. It's like their way or the highway again and again. So, yes. And I want you to notice how you relate to this, how you get this. I want you to take, and what I do is I help people to address these issues emotionally, mentally, and physically, start to process them so you can evolve spiritually. So you don't have to do it if you don't want to, but you take your right wrist, and there's nothing wrong about giving it a try because it's all you that's doing it. You're going to place 3 fingers. Now at that third finger, which is down here, you're going to place your thumb there, and that thumb's going to be nice and soft. You're going to put your finger in the palm, and you make that letter C. Now, and wrap these 3 around. Now, I want the palm to connect with your forehead. Now, you're always going to put your fingers on top and drop it and just sit there. Remember, don't let that slide up. Stay in number 3. And I want you to put that on a scale from 0 to 10 going, yeah, that resonates. That resonates. Now, hold that position. And I want you to allow yourself, oh, yeah, that resonates. Don't talk yourself out of it, but just feel that. Okay? And believe it or not, after 2 to 5 minutes, sometimes maybe a little longer, the thoughts will start clearing. Your heart will start to go, oh, I don't have to have that filter. And you literally, your thoughts and your emotions begin to change, and suffering starts to remove. And what's happening is the chemical peptides are calming down, because the blood in that when 80% of your blood leaves your forebrain, you go into fight, flight, freeze. But when you cooperate and listen with your innate wisdom, oh God, you and your innates doing healing. And you'll get an incredible feeling of a shift of, oh, I feel better. You have to witness this, because your ego is just going to put you back to sleep. Lucci says she got it down to 0, and apparently it's 1 point. You have to give me a little bit more. Which point did you work on? Lauren, yes. Katie says probably more between times you and tend to go back and forth in different parts of it. Yeah, okay. Yes, I can't believe in the Bible the way I did when I was younger, because I've grown with my spirit. I have grown into a R1S. I've grown. Yeah, that one is down to 0. It was connected to the archetype that you had to be a pauper, and that lofty energy from frequency. Interesting. Was that? Oh my God! You have to look, Lucci, because part of it is like, oh, I'm religion. We have to be poor, or this and that. There's some type of belief system there that's interfering. It could be. I don't think it's religion, culture. I think it's religion. Something's there, some type of belief system. Okay. So, yep, April, I'll get to you in just a moment. Anita, yes, now go heal it. When you really feel the difference, then I want to hear, oh, wow, I want to hear it. I want you to know that you're worth it. Go heal yourself. I looked away for a minute. What did I miss? Somebody coming in and throwing their shit around, their belief system, condemning. Where'd you go? I just saw Lauren. There you are. Okay. Now, because this show tonight is about, what about me? What kind of question, Lauren, do you have? If you don't, that's fine. You say general, and we'll listen to what your soul wants you to know. So ask your question. And the same for April Lynn. What is your question? What is your question? Because we're going to direct it a little bit more now so that you can hear what it is that you need to hear, what it is that, so direct your question a little bit more. General guidance in the next few years, if possible. So we're going to ask Spirit, is there a particular fractal time pattern that's going to interfere in the next few years? Yes. How many? Well, I'm looking at 2. And one in particular, there's about being incompatible. And this is just a habit. You have a habit of feeling incompatible and awkward. That nature in itself is going to keep popping up in the situations. You can heal that out, but it's connected to being deprived. So there's, you have that and there's deprived. If you want to heal that, then that's right wrist, second position. And we'll talk about that just in a minute. And then you put your thumb in there nice and deep, finger in the palm. And you sit like that. Don't take it down. Push in deep. Keep your thumb in the second position, not up here, not down there, but in the second position. So now the other fractal that's happening is what resonates with me. So people will tell their stories. Oh, yeah, that resonates with me. Then what happens is that it's like when you're watching a movie and you're like, oh my God, turn sideways, don't run down the road. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's just the chemical peptides that get created from this. And so when you're looking at somebody and they're telling their story, it resonates with you so much so your body really feels that it's happening to you. But what does that mean? It feels like, again, that you feel very incompatible and that there's a lot of invading energies. And you feel like you're bullied because of the particular emotions that's coming off, the storyline that's coming off. Even though you resonate with it, you can feel a memory, a very specific feels. Just so you all know what I'm talking about by the feels. A thought and emotion get together and do the hanky-panky and create a baby called feelings. And the feelings create an experience and it lodges into the body. Oh, God, I so understand her. That, how do you know to understand me? And that is the feels. So in that case, you can feel the bullying. Again, R2D is like, where did my happy go? So you are right wrist, second position, push in deep. Now, why do you need to heal those? Because you asked for the next possible years. So there feels like there's a lack of direction. What's controlling you is the fact is that these programs that already you've downloaded since you were birthed, they are affecting how you create your future. It affects. So how you do anything is how you do everything. And as you wake up, you got 95% of you is running as a program. 5% is that of your brain that you need to do with the consciousness is to allow yourself to create something new. But you can't if your body's focusing on the feels. That's the thoughts and the emotions. And you're like, oh, I can't because I know what that feels like. Okay. Tell me if that makes any sense to you. And if you ever want to watch this again, because there's a ton of information I give, you can go onto Facebook and look under the Medicine Woman Solution. That's SOULTION. Become a fan and look down below. You'll see in the video sections, you'll see the video and you'll see your name timestamped. I want to watch that again. So this doesn't get lost. You get it recorded. And eventually I'm going to put it up on Facebook or YouTube. But I am also live on YouTube right now. So do I put it up on YouTube because it's already there? I don't know. Oh, you're welcome. Does it make any sense? Because I'm not your typical reader healer, just so you know. Hey, James, how you doing, dear? If you're looking for your 1 minute, I can give you one. Lucci says, past life connections of serving the church and spiritual work doesn't get paid. I don't have a belief like that, but I remember as a small girl, I saw visions of myself as a nun in Spain. Ooh, serving the church. Maybe there is some still unconscious belief there. And I asked Spirit, can you follow that train of thought? And it said, yes, it is. It's in the frequency. And the frequency says that you are to be disconnected, demoralized. And so, this is what's happening now. So you are meant to. So do you have a vow or any of that stuff? No, it's just that it's how your body knows. And you haven't resolved out of it. And again, they're like, for instance, R1S, they're going to keep yourself there. So you got to keep yourself in a particular thing. James, I'm, on my way to work. I'm hoping that is a yes, but I know it's a response. I know you're at work. God, I need permission. But I feel like you want one and you don't. James, I'm going to tell you that Spirit does want you to notice that there are times that you can't help but walking around miffed all the time, or you see people miffed all the time. And they said that it affects your will of being able to do stuff. And it just becomes this cycle. Now, that's not really a read as much as that's the shit's just hanging out on him. But that's coming from somebody that's passed over and really feels that you got to look at the answer of being miffed and that you don't need to be miffed. So, darling, when you get a chance, safety first, James. Okay, I missed you, buddy. I want you to hold L3S. You remember L is left, 3 is the third position with your finger, and S means you put your thumb in that third position soft. Otherwise, you're learning how to self-regulate and self-soothe. Hey, Demi, how you doing? So, Lauren says, yes, that makes sense for sure. Excellent. Okay, again, anybody else in the room that wants a reading, let me know. And April Lynn, here we go. Now, I didn't see, she's probably working. So when I look at Miss April, good enough. When I look at Miss April Lynn, they're saying, okay. Now, I feel how my body feels like it's sick or tired, or because I've got aches in my like parts of my spine. And it's like I want so much to control what's happening to me physically. And I just feel in the body saying, I just feel ungrounded. Same shit, different day. Now, your body doesn't really want to work where you're working. Your body doesn't even really want to work. So you're completely out of sync. Okay. And they said that if your body is saying it doesn't really want to work, that's the program. And the program will always create a conflict. You're convincing yourself, yes, I got to work. I got to do this. I got to do that. But you really don't want to work. The body says, no, you really don't want to work. So I want you to hold R2D because there's a part of you that does some loathing. Okay, so R2D, and that's for Miss April Lynn. Now, I'm just going to say Verma because I'm not going to try to pronounce that and ruin and butcher your name. You're new here. Anything from me, please and thank you. So Verma, yes, this is what we're going to do. Because you are new, you get 2. What I'm looking at, now here's before I go any further, you said, I know the question is there anything for me? Now, people just throw these cards out there. Understand, I'm a healer reader. But if you have a very specific topic, because today is all about what about me, you can ask your questions. Yeah, you can, darling. You can, Teresa. You certainly can. That's to come on. I would love that. Okay, Verma, ready? Sometimes in the dreaming factor, you kind of diminish that you think you can do it, or I don't know if I can do it. So let's say I'm going to do this in my mind, and all of a sudden you feel this sensation that I can't do it. It's like when we dream, we just all of a sudden I'm going to throw a freaking punch, and all of a sudden it's like I can't do it. There's nothing there. So that's one of the things I feel. And when that happens, and while you're dreaming of manifesting stuff, I also feel like you check out. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to meditate, or I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to think it through. And then all of a sudden you wander. Okay. Again, I'm not sure if you do any of this. All I know is that I feel you wander. Now I'm looking at the reason I have to do this. I have to think this way. I have to go. So I feel like maybe you have to be forced into prayer, or if it's some type of ritual or some type of something, I'm not sure what it is, but I feel like when you were little, about 5 years old, I feel like there was a punishment. Get and pray. Or do this. So how you felt as a little about thinking, dreaming, whatever it is interfering. It's like a hiccup into what you want. Because I'm looking at how it's like you're conditioned to have to expect your life is going to turn out a certain way. And you're not quite happy with that. Tell me if that makes any sense to you. Because what I'm hearing is that you grew up around, I don't know if you did it in a household or if you did it outside your place, but people's way of speaking and sour graping. So you want to get your hopes up, but you can't. But you're going to get your hopes up, but you don't want to go there because it might hurt. So you're like, yeah, it wasn't for me anyway. So look at what sour graping does. Look at the particular thing, Burma. It makes sense. Okay, so now you're trapped in this program, and your soul's saying, "I want out." Now, what I'm going to help you do, there's several different ways we can do this, but to get a handle on seeing proof that things can change, I want you to take a sentence, a belief, a phrase, anything, and then I want you to learn how to take your hand. I don't care, either one, and you're going to touch the top of your head. But here's the thing, you want this to land on your forehead. So you can just go like this and then drop it. But this is called OMG. I want to move to another country and it starts my life again. Aha, see, that becomes the question. What about me? This is where USA or any European country. I guess the question is that with the way the world is running right now, is that even possible? Okay, is that possible? And I'm feeling those programs are actually going to prevent you from actually thinking that you can, because it's a program. There's something there. I feel like your mother's in control or somebody's in control of your destiny of certain things. That's what I want you to pay attention. That's why we didn't give you something direct. You do this and you sit there and you say, I can't move. Okay, I want to move. I can't move. I just can't. Look at all the can'ts and write down I can't move because of, and then put that scale from 0 to 10. I sit there with it. Don't take it down. And you'll start to notice that as your intention, as you focus, as you're looking, what will happen is that the 10 will start to get smaller. And you'll stay there until it feels clear. Do it again. Keep healing all these statements of I can't. I just had many spiritual lessons. Okay, is that a good? I'm not going to assume, because to me, a spiritual lesson can be something that's scary, or it's like, oh my God, or however it is, or it could be a good thing. But now I just want to love only for me. I want to live. Oh, awesome. So the question is, are you unhappy at this moment? Because I'm feeling restriction in my shoulders. I feel all of this. If you just tell me how you're feeling. Do you feel you can or cannot? Because there's something going on with your particular energy field, and I can show you how to switch that so that your brain can go, oh yes, and that you can go start to find your love of your life for you, that for me, for this, that feeling. Yep, not happy. Okay, that's what I thought. So do me a favor, if you would like to play, just follow along with me. Lung, thyroid, heart, left, right. I want you to pick up your right hand. And I want you to notice on your pinky, go all the way down. Now notice I'm not on my side. I'm right there. Notice I'm right at the crick. Okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to push in and then rub. Don't just slide. That does nothing. Push in and rub. Deep massage. And I want you just to do that for a moment or two. And once you're done with that, I want you to do it like 30 times. And once you're done with that, give me and say, I'm done. Okay. So I'm going to look over into the room. I see Sims. Hello. Just looking for anybody that wants a reading. You talk to me. So, Verma, I want you to, okay, my body just shifted. So are you really doing this, or is your etheric part doing it? Because if you physically do it, you will really start to reap the benefits. And I'll give you the next point. Again, I only do 1 minute, but I'm lingering with people. All right. So now what I want you to do is that I want you to, right? Okay. So you're going to take an under the thumb. Okay. So notice that I'm not on the side. I'm right there. You're going to push in and rub. That one. Okay. I see that Nicole would like a reading. Excellent. Give me a second. Ooh, 30 times, rub it 30 times. Now, sometimes my spot's sore, so it's telling me you may be feeling that it's sore. Seems. Okay, I'm sorry, I was saying somebody's name. And then when you're done with that, let me know. And I'll give you one more point after that. And then you're going to test. I'm not happy, scale it. If it felt like a 10, you can feel it everywhere. The brain feels heavy. And now what I want you to do before we go to the next point is I want you to tell me, does it feel the exact same of when you started, or can you start feeling the shift that something feels different for the better? Something feels different. It's important that you start to wake up to your life and notice that the emotional chemical peptides, you can calm them. The energies in your bodies, you can switch them. You can participate. Actually the same. Okay, so now that's the reason they said that is because this point might be something that's important. Now, on the right, now notice this is right, because how the hands come together, it reminds you of a butt crack right there. Okay. This time you're going to take your hand across. You're going to go palm and then the back of the hand. Palm, back of the hand. Your pericardium, that's what the pericardium is, the sac around the heart. It's also through the circulation, which is the blood, and it has something to do with the reproductive system. Now, after you take and do this 12 times, then I want you to take and rub it. Okay, 30 times. And then you're going to go to the other side. That 2 is also frozen. So your strategy and your action are also frozen. So then you'll go over again, making sure you use your hand like a magnet, using both sides. And then you're going to rub and do 30 times. Then I want you to measure, because you may have to do one more point after that. No, this isn't about Kundalini. This is about energy. This has to do with your meridians. It has to do with the joy, the extraordinary meridians, which is the vessel that the joy flows. This has to do with moving the energy so that the cells in the body can heal and feel. That's not the Kundalini, but it's just your average way the body needs you to just get things moving. That's the way I look at it. Yes, seems if you want a reading, let me know, because you can get 3 minutes. Today, it might be forever. Okay. So the thing is that notice that the brain. Okay. So when you're done with both sides, then measure it. Because you really got to be awake to understand. Because if it still feels the same, you've got to then say, can you allow yourself to begin to see the improvement? Because I feel like part of your program is that if I did show that I improved, I'm going to get disapproval. Okay. I tried a lot from the inside, but outside changes, I don't know where are they. Emotionally, mentally, physically, if it's same story, you got to recognize the feeling. Okay. But again, I feel like if you were to improve, somebody's going to disapprove. This sounds like a program that says, I can't show even myself a little bit of joy because something bad's coming. Does that make sense? Just so you know, you can allow the body to shift. And sometimes we have to give ourselves permission, though. Now, again, they're saying that you're so conditioned that you can't even see your joy. Wow. No. Wait for something bad. Something bad is coming. When you were little, if you didn't do something properly, were you going to get in trouble? Does that make sense? Did you get disapproval if you were happy, or disapproval? Something's there. I can't see it fully, but your body is telling me I can't, I can't. And so it's like, I feel there's a part of you that doesn't know how to, that it's safe to feel joy. Your soul is saying we need to fight for it, but I'm looking at something different. A breakup. Okay, there's something there. Now, see? Your emotions are all over. You don't know how to self-regulate. Now it makes sense. I want you to take your left wrist, okay? Under the thumb, place 2 fingers. The second finger is where your thumb's going to go. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Put your thumb right there. Put your thumb softly, not hard, softly. Put your finger in the palm. Make the letter C. Wrap these 3 around. Take your palm, touch your forehead, and let your fingers drop. And I want you to sit there and think about the breakup. Think about the breakup. Think of the negative shit. This tool helps you connect to your innate to it. Breaks the hell cycle. Breaks the hell cycle. Okay. All right. Anybody else that would like a reading? I said Nicole Johnson. Yes. Miss Nicole. All right, Miss Nicole. What I'm feeling for you. Jesus, mother of horrors. What did I say that for? There's a hysterical energy. I mean, it's what time period am I in? Oh, you may not recognize what's happening because I'm in a different time period. I'm hearing horses. Like that was the car back then, so it was horses. I hear it on the cobblestone. So I'm hearing very specific past life. But the broadcast that your soul could not forget had to do with there's this over behaving. You must behave. You created a fractal self in that particular timeline. So as you came here, did that fractal, both of them came in? No. One came through, the other one on a soul level still needs to heal. So Nicole, what I want you to understand is if you feel like you got to hide behind masks in order to be present with people, and if that feels like that, then Nicole, left wrist, second position, nice and deep. Again, she may be here, may not be here, but left wrist, second position, nice and deep. Really feel, do I have to put on a mask in order to be around people? Because you need to heal this particular thing so that your second part of you can come forward. It's not just calling your soul forward because it just can't. Burma says that was really bad, and I felt something was karmic between me and her, and we both have something karmic with our families too. Yes, changing that paradigm cycle is so super important in this 5th dimension. So in karma, understand you have a different definition of karma, but I have a feeling I have an understanding of it. But it is karma for me is as if I'm losing parts of myself. I'm compromising. I'm being the hero. I'm doing this. It's just that you have to, and that's the thing. It's just that karma. So in your case, we'll talk about something else. Nicole, yes, I hide behind my trauma, behind a mask. Very good, honey. So that point I gave you, you're meant to heal this, what is happening in this life. And they said you're going to probably have to do it like 3 times. That means you're going to sit there, but you're going to catch yourself in the act. Why is that important to catch yourself in the act? Even if it's way after the fact. But you got to start to use your key of awareness. Catch when you do it. I just did it. Or while you're in the middle of it, I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it right now. Can you excuse me? I need to go to the bathroom. Run to the bathroom. Sit there with L2D. Feel the sensation. I'm going to repeat this again because a thought, an emotion, go in bed, produce a baby called feelings. A sensation of how you know that. Okay. So it's like, oh God, I'm hiding right now. I have to hide. Go into the bathroom, sit there and go, feel the mask. Your part from that past life wants to come through. It wants to come through, but it can't because you have to heal that sensation from that past life and this one. And so you can move in a new direction. I'm getting a little warm. Somebody's coming in that has hormonal issues. I'm getting myself prepared. I'm working up a sweat. here's the thing. I'm bench pressing. I'm going to 130 pounds now. So I'm getting some guns a little bit there. It's kind of nice and firm. I don't know why that had to come in. Apparently a break. Okay. So, Verma, did you hold that point? If you hold that point I gave you, I'll sit here, work with other people. You start to feel, you have to really focus on the health. Let the body do the healing. What will happen is that you're going to get yourself in a particular space, and all of a sudden, you're going to start having some clarity, some sense of feeling, some sense of relief. And you come back and you tell me if that number's changed, but you have to know how to measure. Do you understand? You have to know how to measure. So what do I need to do to heal? Okay, Nicole, I want you to take your left wrist, my darling. And you're going to find these 2 points. Okay, see, 1, 2. Why don't you just put your wristband on? My gracious sakes. It takes 2 minutes to help these people. Okay, everybody. So, number 2 position, 1, 2 fingers. That's how you find it. Put your thumb in the second. Push in. Not light. Push in. A little bit of pressure, but not too much where you're killing it. Finger in the palm. Create the letter C. Wrap these 3. Put your palm on the forehead. Let the fingers drop. Sit there. So when, let's say you're in the middle of it and you can feel that sensation, do your best to go find a bathroom, because you need to heal that. Or if you're sitting there, somebody comes in the room and then they leave and you're like, oh, I just hid behind my mask. What? L2D it. You got to get the number. You need to recognize and go, oh my God. Sit in the health, sit in how you know it. Don't talk yourself out of it. Just sit there and then the number will come down. We want you to 0, because you got many layers to be able to recall and integrate this particular fractal from that past life. Some of you is left behind. We leave no soul behind. Bring it in. Okay, April Lynn, I did do your reading, but you probably were not, probably working, busy. We'll timestamp that. I don't know if you need it or not. Okay. So thank you for the FYP. And thank you. So now what's going to happen is that I'm going to kick that shit to the curb. Absolutely. You're welcome, Nicole. Please remember you're important. And the more that you participate with your life, you're going to make an incredible difference. And Judy told me that number 47 is your timestamp, April Lynn. River says you were right about the prayers. Some people want me to awaken. Oh, goodness. To their belief system, to the way they hold things. I had people that says, well, I'm going to pray for you, dear. And I'm like, ooh, what kind of outcome or reality do you think that I need that I'm not doing? I was born in this body for a reason, and you are mad because I'm not living up to your standards. Please don't pray for me. Because they're placing judgment. Now, when I say I'm going to pray for somebody, it's I hold that energy space to help you get through whatever it is you're going to get through. I don't know what you got to get through, but you do, but you may need some extra love. That's great. Wherever you're at, you're right where you're supposed to be, Verma. But I feel like, let me ask you how old you are, not to try to criticize, but how old are you? Because that may play a part with the brain. So just tell me how old you are, if you don't mind me asking. Oh, that ain't it. Like, how do you write on your own page? Apparently, I don't know how to do that. Oh, no. Katie, I'm not trying to send you a message. Well, all right, so I'll have to figure out from the TikTok expert, Amy, how in the world do you write your own stuff? Oh, besides going the long route. 25. Oh, okay. See, what's happening also is that the frontal lobe is super, super important. And by the time you hit 30, there's a part of you that's going to go into your Saturn's return, which is to help create a more of a soul independence. On a physical aspect, by the age 25, and women and men are a little different on the way the brain is, the frontal lobe needs to create maturity. And so around 25 is when the frontal lobe starts creating this maturity. And so it stops growing. It stops, going in that direction. Now, why do we care about the frontal lobe? Because it creates your reality. If this frontal lobe is about creating reality, it's about making executions, making choices, making things. But if your 80% of the blood is not in your forebrain, this is where you create reality. If it's in the, oh my God, I'm stressed, I fight, flight, freeze, what will happen is you can't think your way out of a paper bag. So that's why I was rubbing your points. And by rubbing these points, allowed you to move the energy so you can start having some clarity. That's what I was looking for. And then I saw that other program that was interfering. Okay. You're getting yourself into a new position of taking and going, wait a minute, I want to take control of my life a little bit more. I want to take control of my life. Okay. So that frontal lobe has to do with nourishing it. So the more blood you have to the forebrain. So this is where you can do OMG, just placing your hand on before you're going to bed at night. Think about your shit and, oh man, this bitch said this to me. My mother told me that. Scale it from 0 to 10 because you can't get them out of your head. Sit there and sit there and sit there. Let the body do the healing. And those 41 thoughts of things that pressure you under the stress, you take them and chunk them down. This is the beauty of the 41 thoughts. You chunk them down, And then you'll sit there and go, oh, my head feels clear. I don't have those nagging thoughts. Oh, there's one. I'm going to write it down and I'm going to measure it. It's a 10 and I'm going to put my hand here. Heal it until it's 0. You really want to become something healthy and strong. So you have a chance to begin to really take hold of your life right now, Verma. James says, love you, Brenda. 450 miles a day to bring everyone their shit. Go, James, go. And thank you very much for doing that hard job. Have a good night. Thank you. Yeah, for the rest of you, it's a day. Yes, absolutely. No, I miss James. But it's good that I've met this young man and happy that he was in my life. And he's still here. So that's good. That's awesome. Yes, is Teresa here? Because we're ready to go, I think, to the next phase. And then Teresa. And then I think we have Amy that's paid. That's coming at the end. So I'm just double checking in the rooms to make sure what's going on. So if you are ready, I'm going to grab the link. I'm going to go over. Do I have my water with me? Oh, thank God. Oh, there you are, sweetheart. Okay. Let me find it. Copy that link again. I don't know what I touched. And where's Teresa? All right. I'll type you in and see what I get. There's Miss Perkins. All righty. Now remember, you can come in. You don't have to have video if you don't want to. That's fine. Okay. And I'll send it to you anyway. Here we go. Oh no, your computer's frozen. Oh, no problem, darling. No problem. You've been very supportive and I totally appreciate it. And we'll work it out one way or the other. There's always a solution. So we thank Spirit for that. Okay. Hello, Melissa. How are you? I don't know how fast her computer goes, but if you want a reading, you're more than welcome to. And I'm looking around. I love you and yes. Okay. Fast. Yes, please. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give her one while she's getting her computer going. Melissa, what I'm getting is I feel this certain amount of stress. It's normal for you. But I'm also getting that you're used to playing out the stress, same day, different story, but you always feel incompatible. My ex had a hold of me last night. That's what I'm feeling. Okay, because I was just going to say there's something not quite there. And it's like he rejected you first somewhere along that way. And there's a part of your body that says, karma, bitch. Your body is saying, Now, just like I said before, when you have a thought and emotion, they kind of do the hanky-panky and they produce a baby called feelings. And there's a feeling inside of you about, said X, that your body said it's ready to be done with because you felt overpowered and it just keeps coming up. And it's like, that makes it so that when he gets in your space or comes in, we want to end that so that you can have a freedom. So left wrist, second position, nice and soft. Okay, a little L2S. And remember to place it like this. Measure, 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 because you do not need to have that energy dictate how you're supposed to live. Now we're going to bring Teresa in the room. Hopefully that makes sense to you, Melissa. I felt that. I feel that, X. Here she comes. And we're going to get some audio in just a second. Okay, hello.
Hello.
Hi, darling. All right, let me set my timer. There we go. Okay, how can I help you, hon?
Anything Spirit wants to give me.
Lullaby and good night. This is my singing to my sweetheart tonight. So there was this comfort you had. I want to cry. There was this comfort you had. And I'm going back to where you really felt it, the love. I feel like it came from your mom. And over time, God, I'm feeling the resignation. Hold on, dear. Wow. That's the past, but what I'm feeling right this very second is this feeling state that was birthed around, I'm going to say 1 month old. But there was aggression in the room. So when you were enjoying that moment of love, there was aggression in the room. And the aggression interrupted the flow state that was toward you, which left a marker. And this marker is affecting your hope. And so it becomes a spiritual issue. As I'm looking at the spiritual issue, your soul is telling me that the self, your ego self, towards you is very lofty because of that very specific energy of when flow was coming in, when the love of flow was coming in and it got interrupted with that aggression. Do you understand what I'm saying so far?
Yeah.
Okay, now you're...
Everything then in 1970 was different than now, so I can see it.
Yeah. My whole body's like going, oh my God. And you're conditioned that love has to come with this aggression. And I said, okay, Spirit, what do you want? And they said that if she were to see, this is where I feel like you were changed. It's like the marker. A marker is important. I'll tell you what that is in just a second. Mm-hmm. You feel like you got to change your moral character to fit to be loved. So you had to change yourself.
Right.
Now, this marker, they're going times past. And we're going back past lives. I am going back 3 particular past lives. Now, I feel like I'm in I would have to say the 20s. What year was the Gone with the Wind? What year was the Gone with the Wind? Because I'm seeing that particular big ass dress type thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, time.
And what I'm getting is that the attraction factor from that past life popped up as a marker in this life. So how you find out what it was that happened in that one, you have to understand is that you have this compulsion that you have to finish where you left off. Now, I said, what does this mean? the broadcast energy from that timeline had everything to do with setting you up for the spiritual issue that you have here. It says, can you give us a little bit more clarity of this spiritual issue? Yes, you have to people please because the aggression energy came in and interrupted the love flow. And you thought the only way that you can get love, and especially for a child, is to figure out how to get the attention. Does this make sense?
1000%. Yes.
Okay.
Your whole life.
So I'm looking at how, and now, again, we don't really need to know about past lives, but this is very helpful to help support where you're at. You didn't know how to self-soothe that. So I'm watching not the past life, or let me put this, I'm not looking at the 1-month-old. I'm looking at how you couldn't soothe yourself in that past life. And it has been carried over. And this was according to this 3 past lives ago. It's been carried over each time. You did not take care of it here and here. You've collected particular perspectives. So it's not going to be important about what the original is. It's just that you have this feeling that you
I just heard this buck stops here. Like it's stopping this timeline.
Good. But you just don't know how to feel safe. You don't know how to feel safe. And so I'm looking at this marker. And so it came up, 1-month-old, the information came up, love, aggression. And it's like, hey, little, are you going to pass your test? You're like, no, I didn't, because it was presented to you emotionally. And instead of just letting it zoom on by, it grabbed your attention because you're the observer, but you also became the participant. And there you go, over identifying without knowing that it's happening. So I'm looking at this. You said one of the key things about this particular life is that your reaction and the contempt that you have to react this way. Get what I said? Okay. Now, you've also, is this combined with what? No. It resonates with how they behaved. So now, everybody in your household had that program that you have to have contempt. Oh my God, contempt. So as I tell people, it's important to look this up. We will make sure that we really are getting this. Oh, thank you for the stars, Melissa. The feeling that a person or thing is worthless or beneath consideration. Now, if you know Teresa, she would not really think that. But the program that comes up is, what? You didn't help me? Or you keep putting that package behind me? Or because she has a physical issue. And so her soul keeps putting the situation with these packages, instead of delivering them to her door so she can get them, they put them in a really hard place for her to get them. And she has complained. She has spoke up. She's not that she didn't learn how to do it. She's spoken up. And the contempt we have that's towards this person. Now, again, the only reason I think you're doing this one is because it's conditioned. This is how your parents act. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So how you watch.
You did mention when you read the description, the not feeling worthy.
Yep.
I felt that way this past few weeks. Not all day, but once in a while it sneaks in and I'm just like, what, I'm not good enough? I'm not worthy. I'm like, shit.
Did you hear the words? Listen how she knows this. Brilliant. Yeah. She was able to see the baby, that the thoughts and the emotions hanky panked and made some babies. She can hear it.
It's actually put me in her rut too. I've been feeling like after it's like
yes. So she's this automatic response.
Like, leave me alone.
Yes, this automatic response that keeps hitting you. Oh my God, Teresa, what I need you to do is do some L1D, because you're like, I don't know how to any other way than this program tells me that I'm supposed to behave. And they said, if you were to start doing left wrist, first position deep, you can start noticing why you can't be confident. Now, she can be confident, but she's not allowed to be confident because the program says Now you can't be confident. This is the way you're supposed to act and feel. I mean, hey.
Yep.
And that is what was a big issue in that third past life. And the aggression, now they're telling me more about this past life. It's the aggression. And the aggression that came through ended up being the attraction factor that's followed you in each one of these lives. The aggression, and where you have to take a passive position. So I'm going to ask, is this, and this is the way some people believe, is this a karmic thing for her? They go, no. This is a repeat of how she's so hooked and involved into that aggression forced her to be passive. So this is a values level 4 hierarchy that's on the planet. Is that if let's say you're a snotty little kid, somebody comes along bigger than you, knocked you down, and it frightens you, you will go from aggressive to passive. And then you got to figure out how to get your life force back. You have to figure out how to find the wisdom in between those two. That's where I feel like you're at.
Yeah.
So have you been vividly recalling, if you were into your dreams, could you actually see what movie you were playing? Like all of a sudden, you woke up and you felt you were in Gone with the Wind, or you woke up and you feel like you were Mary Poppins. Have you had any movie dreams yet?
I can't remember right now.
No, that's quite all right. But now that you're aware of it, don't be surprised if they give you and your higher self give you a movie dream, and they said take the main character and understand what's going on, because that can help relate to where your one of your aspects is learning to walk through or to do next. So you might get some pointers. But there's a certain amount of overwhelm. Again, they're showing me from that particular past life how you were overwhelmed. I said, were you male or female? Can I ask that? They said, yes, you can ask that. She had a penis. So you showed up as a male in that particular past life. And the actions that you had, somebody had put you in your place, and that has been carried over to see if you can do it as a female. See if you can do it as an adult. No matter how many times you're going to do it, you're going to see if you can heal this, claim your power again, and move forward. Is there anything in the way we can help her? And they said that there's a great amount of sadness that she has not talked about. And that she keeps shutting down over and over, suppressing it so deep that it turns up as feeling like doom. I'm going to be forever alone. Does this make any sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so your soul said that it wants you to notice that you became addicted to that overwhelm. And so now it feels like it's true. And even if you want out of it, this is your addiction. So pay attention. Why would a person have an addiction? Because they couldn't resolve one thing they couldn't resolve. So they take something else and sit on top of it. And that will make you feel like, oh, I feel whole. I feel peaceful. And so when she goes into this, the feeling of it, it actually gives her a sense of peace. I know that sounds strange. It doesn't feed her into nourishing, but it gives you that sense of peace. And what is it covering up? The alarm. It's covering up the alarm. And what do you mean by covering up the alarm? Well, she feels deficient without her mom. She feels deficient without that wholeness. And I said, so what do you mean? Well, she's pushed up against her arrested development. And that means you had stunted growth. And what you feel is that you're the child. Every single day there's a party that wakes up and I'm 1 month old, no, 2 months old, 2 months old. And it's a broadcast energy towards yourself that something about I'm not good enough for love. So is this a deep rejection? No, it's a condition. Where do you want to go? What can we do? When was the last time you really felt secure?
Gosh, I want to say when I was living with my mom, I felt pretty secure there.
Okay. So I want you to start doing R3S. Okay. That's what you're going to write down is R3S. And notice how you feel unsecure because she's not here. Okay. But you have a feeling of what secure feels like. So you're going to take and use the golden lasso, and you're going to think, okay, I'm going to do this next step, and I'm going to feel secure. So you got to train the brain to feel secure. So pick something where you're going to go out and do whatever the golden lasso is, find your end result. I'm going to do this. And notice that you're going to hold yourself to feel secure. You already know what it feels like. Yes, I felt secure because everything felt what? So what's the best way to say you felt secure? How did you know when you were with your mom? How do you know? Find the words.
Yeah.
Find the words. It makes sense. It's like, everything sounds quiet. Everything's back to normal. Everything's awesome. Everything's great. And I just have to do this because I don't have to go out there. It feels good. Now, you have a little fear with that one. And that is what they want you to heal when it comes to R3S, is that as you're going, I feel safe at my mom's, but you're running from whatever that is. And that part of that past life that has something to do with it. So you have some points you can hold, okay?
Okay.
Just one more, and that is you're so good at procrastinating with yourself. It's the way you communicate. It's the way you communicate with yourself. And that is a sensation that got birthed. And you are going to start working when you're ready, because you're like, no, I'm not ready to give up this device. But when you're ready to give up that, it would be R2S, okay? Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for the roses. And Teresa, you taking care of yourself because you just got a past life. Today's about past life. Did you notice that I gave some of that earlier? You can do this, Teresa. You can do this. All right.
Yes.
All right. Bye, honey.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Past lives. Who knew that was going to come to the surface? She's got this. She's slowly but surely doing it at her pace. And that is wonderful. So somebody in the room, you're just supporting. Thank you so much. I totally appreciate that. Again, if you want to read and you want any healings, this is what I'm here for. And that's what I want to do. But if you just want to watch, that's fine too. And I appreciate all of that. Just understand that when you support, you have a chance to win what is it? 8 minutes with me on the air. But if you don't want to participate, that's fine. If you happen to win and you're like, but I don't want it, you can give it to somebody else or you can decline. So it's up to you. But I really appreciate the support because that helps me help other people. Okay, so I'm looking, is there anybody else that would like a particular reading, because again, this is all, what about me? What questions do you have? What questions do you have? And I'm going to keep looking, but I have a feeling that I'm just going to jump over to bring Amy on. That one. And Ames, I don't see you. Are you on yet? I thought you said you're on. Okay, when you get, there it is.
I just got on.
Oh, I was going to say, because it doesn't show me anything about you. And I'm like, oh. Okay. Okay, hold on. Ames, just a second. All about Ollie, you do not have to pay for anything. Okay? And she says, I don't want to not thank you. Well, here's the thing. You pay it forward, you share, you do things. And it's, so again, when you're ready and you feel comfortable, I would be glad to help. Okay. Thank you. And what is the price? $24. See that? Read and healing is $24. I did not know my thing was in the way. And you get usually 8 minutes with me. Oh, you can heal that. She says she feels bad. No. You don't have to. That is something you can heal. She just told herself how she knows she knows. She can heal that. Hanging with me, I will help you. You know what? I want you to write that down. I feel bad. Scale from 0 to 10. I feel bad. And then do this. Put your palm on your forehead. Sit there with your fingers on top of your head and sit there until it's 0. And then maybe we can have a talk. Okay. So Miss Amester, hello.
Hello.
All right, you got on here.
That was interesting earlier.
Yes, in your life, absolutely it was. It was bizarre, but at the same time, you were in a
It
space
was a
where
whispering opportunity, yes. And I was like, okay. I felt like I was going to cry. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to end this because this isn't going to go good if I don't end it.
she was doing
So
a TikTok
I
earlier,
ended it.
and just the backstory, I wrote something and I took a picture of it and sent it to her. It wasn't to her, but I just felt that she needed to see it. Well, Spirit, her littles, what do I mean by littles, Ames?
Our little selves are just as alive as you and I are right now.
Mm-hmm.
My 14-year-old self and I found my 4-year-old self were offended by what Brenda had wrote.
Even though it was not to her,
And
she felt it.
Even though it wasn't to me. And my littles took offense, and so I ended up ending my life and healing my shit so that I could
Be whole again.
get back to me. Get back to me.
Now, she could have so much in ego go, oh my God, that bitch. Okay. Which is what her littles did. But the adult Amy, because she's been healing
My
so
littles
long.
did, but me, it was like, and I did. I put my hand in my heart, and I'm like, my 50-year-old self, did my 50-year-old self take offense? No. No. I didn't take offense. My littles took offense.
Exactly. And when you get that awareness, because that's an ego mindset or spiritual mindset, and because she was able to ask that question with the heart, find the higher truth within herself, she was able to go, oh, but she still was left with what was the thoughts, what was the emotions. You could feel that feeling. Now, the reason why she's even becoming more aware is because I keep talking about this, how your thoughts and your emotions do a little hanky-panky and come up with a little bit of a feelings that you know how you know. So it wasn't in your head, but your body took offense. And if you wouldn't have been in your spiritual mindset, you so would have ran with it.
Mm-hmm.
And you would have came up with some false realities, false meanings, and you would have found a way to survive, maybe to retaliate, bitch, moan, whatever. But notice your growth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got sad. It was like, that's all I could feel was being sad and being in that place where what it was that came up when Brenda said the age.
Our cats are fighting.
Was when I was 14, I thought that I could possibly be pregnant, and I went and told a teacher that I trusted and adored, and she said, "Oh no." I mean, it was all
okay. So let me back up the boat.
Said,
emotionally for Amy is that when you start to adore people and love people, you create a trust. So then you're like, oh my God, I got to turn to somebody I can talk to. Now, in your mind, at this point, you have this love relationship. Everything's going good. Everything's great. And you go up and you share something, and then they give you that startled response. And it sets you back. And it gave you a feeling. It's the same thing when I had this art teacher, loved him to bits, and I was doing this campaign. Somebody talked me into it. Fine. So I'm very scared. Don't talk to people. And so I thought, oh, I'll go to my favorite teacher and say, will you wear this button? He took such offense to it that he turned around and read me one in front of all his friends. And they were all the friends because he was sitting at the table with all teenagers because that's where he was, because we were in the big cafeteria at the time. And shamed me and my own peers. I was completely devastated and crushed and startled that somebody I cared about would do that. And so that gets lodged, and that's what was lodged in her. So even though she knows me, and her 50-year-old self was like, wait, what? I know that's not true, because she's in her spirit space, because she was on the 7th plane doing readings. She was able to hear her little going, oh, that was so, and see, the little took offense. That's what she said. So she took and started to heal it out. How long was your turnaround time?
As soon as I ended my live, I grabbed L1D, and then you said something about what happened to you? Where are you? Oh, silly me.
I thought it was because I wasn't paying attention and the phone went, I looked and you were off. I'm like, oh, well, silly me.
And I immediately grabbed L1D.
But
then you, maybe 5-6 minutes.
Excellent. Now, she could have been in it for months, weeks. We could have created a TIFF. We could have done this. But here's something also. Just before all of that happened, I felt the energy in the room really shift, which created this paranoia effect. So somebody brought their shit in the room, not being responsible for that energy, brought it into the room, and I could really feel all of a sudden, oh, Amy don't like me. Oh, da-da-da. Oh. And I'm like, whoa, that's so weird. That energy is in the room. And so I'm keeping it at bay, right? And so I'm like, but that's not true. Da-da-da. And what was happening was that her whispering opportunity was coming in. So somebody had accused me of saying something very egoic. Did you see her misery? I didn't say it anything like that. I said, look, because there was a statement. Somebody wrote a statement. I said, oh, look at the misery in the statement. But I left the word out statement. I said, look at the misery. When I read it from that person,
look at the
me?
I read it and I look back and I'm like, oh yeah, there it is.
Right. And the ladies and the other lady then come in and said,
so it's clean, and this person wasn't.
Right. She's like, oh my God, you said that about me? And I'm like, had nothing to do with you. When people step into the room and so that was a giveaway. She was in misery. But if you bring that energy to the room, you can wipe out a whole bunch of people. And that's what we got caught up. But at the same time, we can use it as a whispering opportunity. And so Amy did not waste it. What did you want to talk about? I mean, you're here. Besides that, I just started the clock. How can I help you?
Hey, you got a pendulum, don't you?
Oh, sure. What would you like me to do with it? All right. So I'm going to ask a little bit more deeper about this. They said, notice that you learned about how energy can come in and sweep. You learned at it from another perspective, and that kaleidoscope of perspectives, you're learning at another angle. And you're going to notice how quickly, if you don't take action, how much it could really take you there, because you notice how fast you went right there. But and you couldn't stop it. You couldn't stop it. So again, that whispering opportunity. So it was about the right timing. Spirit wants me to talk to you about sour graping, though. The resignation of friendships. And I'm looking in the past. I feel like this might happen. Sour graping. What did you hear? What do you know about it? Well, how to define it? Tell me, because they're saying you're going to be able to start healing chunks out with your dad, because he's very present, by the way.
Sour graping is bitching in your head. It's, oh, Susie has something that I want and I can't have it. Oh my God.
Great.
That's my definition.
So it describes someone's behavior or opinion. Okay. It means that the person is angry or because they have not got or achieved something they wanted. So they want something. And how do you act when you don't get it? How do you soothe yourself? How do you communicate with yourself?
That's how Reynolds did it.
Exactly. I can't do it. Oh, whatever. But then this is where the self-talk comes in. Okay. I don't think I did a great job at work. And that oh my God, I failed somewhere. This sour graping is a little different, but it's like, I don't think I did such a good job. I must have failed the test. I feel like and it's not that you're sour graping because you didn't get it. you're in limbo before the end result. Do you understand? So I can't handle, I don't want to know the end truth, but I do need to know when it's here. When am I going to get that piece of paper that tells me I passed? But it's how you treat yourself. So when it comes to friendship, how does this come for you? They're saying, what kind of communication? Hey, that's intimate. Hey, we're bitching. Yeah, it's funny. Hey, yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the commiserate.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like if you didn't do that, some people would just take offense. It's like you come in happy and they're in misery. How do you fit in? How do you communicate? It's like you got to jump into what's already happening.
Yeah. Well, like when I went over to the neighbors, it was, I could feel that, woe is me.
Ooh,
from
okay.
him.
Okay.
From him, because he fell at Easter time and broke his kneecap. And he's not a candidate for knee replacements anymore. So he wasn't able to use, I think it was his left knee, or his left leg, for like 6 weeks.
Okay.
Could not put weight on it. And I could feel that, not realizing that, it was like, something's off. Because I said, you're walking. Yeah.
So he didn't get the knee replacement. He didn't get that comfort of getting the pain gun. So he has to sour grape. He has to do that. And we can begin to hear that. Now, again, you're used to people in your environment a long time ago that's how they talk all the time. So you're learning how to self-soothe yourself about how you can't get something. Okay. That means you're going to have to go deeper, and you're pretty good already, but I don't know how you really are without me. But you got to start catching that when you're around that certain company. Is it easy to fall back into doing that?
I caught myself today. I'm starting to catch myself a lot more with a lot of it. More than, well, especially like even say 10 months ago.
Good. Because they said that you're learning to self-soothe instead of holding on to the addiction to self-soothe. So what do I mean by that is that there was a feeling that you couldn't take care of. So you took on sour graping as your addiction to take care of this. Now we want to self-soothe this, but you got to self-soothe this. So I said, what in particular do you want to self-soothe? And they said, oh my God, when you couldn't get your way. This goes back to a little, the particular outcome syndrome that, that's what I wanted to say. She had this darn passy. Oh my God, this binky. I mean, it was like her whole world. Okay. Oh, there goes that pendulum. You have to learn that you didn't, and it's more than just the binky. I can't have my brother anymore. This goes to humans. I don't know how to make those feelings stop. I don't know how to stop those thoughts. I don't know how to stop it because nobody gave you nothing. They just ripped your brother right away, his memories, everything, and get over it. And you're like, that's the OMG. So then you've taken something that you've experienced in your environment. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Ooh, sour graping. That's how I'm going to do it. So we downloaded that. That's how you're going to do it. And the thing is that it caused you to cover up the feeling, I'm invalidated. Nobody wants to validate my feelings.
And they didn't. They didn't.
So R1S that, because there's a part of you didn't know what to do with those feelings. So notice in the next, oh my God, week or two. So I don't know. Hopefully how many times it's going to take before you hear it. But in the next week or two, so they're really emphasizing this, is that your soul is calling in very specific events. So you can feel and see, I'm invalidated. But notice that you got a great thing today about a whispering opportunity, and you could do the same for the invalidation. Like you got to see and witness me. I was like having this great epiphany of how my family rejected me, because I'm like, my family's there for me. What the hell is this talking about at 4 years old? And then you heard me say it. You saw me go right into how I actually saw.
I decided to go watch it again.
Oh, I got to download that so I don't lose it.
Did you download that one?
No, not yet. I got to. But, oh, wait, that's tied to the big show, ain't it? You got a shorter version of that?
It would be well, I was only on for like 3 hours, but I can cut that part out.
Okay. No, I probably could download it. But, yes.
Well, no, I can. Mine is shorter, and I can just...
Oh, well, all right.
That piece.
Well, I appreciate it. But it now, because you couldn't solve it and you used the addiction of other addictions, other emotions, that other addiction, that other emotion is to have cloudy thinking. So what is cloudy thinking? What is your definition? What do you think cloudy thinking is?
A symptom comes over you. It's like scrambled eggs in the brain.
Like a brain fart. Like a cloudiness, a mental fog. When you slightly feel like, wait, I'm not awake. Oh, just hold on. I need some coffee. So you're not as aware as you normally are. How about that? So yeah. And so in this case, you would, to take care of that invalidation, you became addicted to going into this particular brain fog. And like, does your husband invalidate you? Does your neighbors invalidate you? Does anybody invalidate you in your home or anything?
It would be him.
And you understand how he does it, correct? And so you put this cloudy thinking over you, and then you proceed to the next step.
And the other one would be Mama.
That's what I thought. So in this case, L2D, because you literally have the lack of power. And so because you feel like you don't have the power, you go into the cloudy thinking to stop the feeling of feeling invalidated. Again, this is why I said it's going to take several little things, but you can do it. You can do it.
Oh, yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you so much for coming on, and I appreciate it. And we'll talk to you real soon, and you'll have to let yourself up because I still haven't figured out how to do that one yet. You'll have to teach me someday.
All right.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye. All right. So hello. If you're new into the room, if you want a reading, you're more than welcome to ask me. I just need your permission to do so. Okay. So thank you for following me. What is it? When they put all the words together, I see many ahas. So if you have hi, and if you have any you want a reading, let me know. We talk about a lot of growth here, a lot of spiritual growth, a lot of spiritual things that we can do. So if you would like a reading before I go, I would love to be able to help you see something or help you get clarity on something. Okay. Let me look towards the room and see if there's anybody else. All right. I got to check the big room, or not big room, the words, good Lord. Aha. Okay. Gotcha. All right. So again, I'm lost. It's a really strange feeling. Somebody's lost, and I've got to get out of that feeling. It's weird. So I'm going to do a reading for Crystal Allen because I missed her this morning, and I'm going to give her the back link for this. So Crystal Allen, I'm going to give you 1 minute. Crystal Allen, in your room, I'm looking at something in the room and it feels like you can notice if it's heavy or light. Your brain wants to jump to the conclusion of how heavy it feels. I want you to notice that your brain is filling in the blanks, and we want you to back this up, because it's like, oh my God, there's a snake in the road, and you walk up to it and it's a rope. So this feeling, when you feel this heaviness, this is what's happening in your filing cabinet. But it's time to upgrade this. So every time when you feel like it's negative or something bad, I want you to take and understand that your stability does not happen. So you want to get things back to stability. So you're going to take your right wrist, third position. So you find the third position, nice and soft. And I want you to go, oh my God, and go to your conclusion of what you think it is, and how you feel it, and how you know it, and sit there with it, so that the brain can start to predict something different besides the same routine of the old filing cabinet. Oops. Now, today's show was actually quite fun. We talked about past lives. I love when Spirit just starts throwing stuff up. That's a good thing. Lucci, ciao for now. Beautiful. Yes, ciao. Okay, we'll talk to you later, honey. And tomorrow is tribal, so whoever comes, we're going to have a good old time healing. We'll see wherever that goes. And tribal is important. What is tribal before I go? It is if you're into healing and you're into growing and you're into ready to move out of your shit show of your life and you want to put some investment towards yourself, I highly suggest that you come in, and it's only like $9 a week or $36 a month. Then you can attend 4 lives or watch them pre-recorded, however you want to do. And the thing is, you get to participate. You get to see insights like Soul Speaks, and you get to heal we do a mass healing, and we start to heal this stuff out. But the whole point is to understand that your voice is important, of how you knew what you knew and how you're going to grow into the next phase of who you are. Okay, it's really important. But again, this is not for everybody. This is those that are ready for getting out of, oh yeah, my life's all right. No. When you start having that soul urge, you're going to go, there's got to be something more to life than this. So yes, get moving. Okay? You guys are wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for helping other people to show up. That's wonderful. And we will go from here, and we will talk to you. I will be in TikTok. Thursday is my next show, or Wednesday, Thursday, wherever you're at. And thank you so much for being here. Now I'm going to say and sign off, starting with all of you. Hashtag what? Resolve to evolve. Hashtag heal instead of deal. Hashtag you can heal this. Hashtag, I'm going to say, I look like I know that woman. Hashtag feel it to heal it. You can heal that. When in doubt, grab a healing tool, place it on your forehead, and heal it out. But the key part is measuring it. What do you do when you measure? When you measure, you're going to make a major difference in your life. Now, the only way you can get on the show is if you pay to be on when I'm doing my show. Now, when it's something else, it's different. But my show is to come on. It's stuff that we want to heal. If you want to be chatting about other stuff, that's a different story. It's a different type of show altogether. Okay, just so you know. All right. And with that, I see you're already whole, and I will hold that you're already blessed. So stay blessed and happy healing. And just making sure that we check over here. We're going to end the stream. And with